Alright, so while we're on the topic of square root and cube roots, we are going to cover how to take the square root of a fraction. So here is a basic problem to look at. Oh, I don't have a pen. Here we go. Alright, so if we have the square root of 9/16. 9/16. This could look a little terrifying, but don't worry, it is actually pretty simple. Another way that we could write this equation is that this is the same as the square root of 9 divided by the square root of 16, which makes that a lot easier to deal with, right? Because we know what the square root of 9 is. The square root of 9 equals 3. 3 times 3 equals 9, so that would equal 3. And then the square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. And so our answer to the square root of 9/16 would be 3/4. Now, a way we can double check to make sure that we have this answer correct is, of course, just to square our answer and see if we came out with our original problem. So if we were to square 3/4, that would be 3/4 times itself, times 3/4. And then just basic multiplying fractions, we just multiply straight across. So 3 times 3 equals 9, and 4 times 4 equals 16. So since that equals what we got originally, then the square root of 9/16 would equal 3/4. Alright, so to do another one, just a quick practice, let's do the square root of 4/25. Now remember, we could write this in a little bit of an easier form. The square root of 4 divided by the square root of 25. Remember, when we write it like this, whatever we do on the top, we also have to do on the bottom. So always make sure that you're square rooting both top and bottom of a fraction if you write it like this. And as long as you do that, you'll be golden. But the square root of 4 is 2. And the square root of 25 is 5. So our answer would be 2/5. Sometimes you might run into a question like this one. What if we had the square root of b divided by 9? What are we going to do here? Well, obviously, when we don't know what b is, there's not a lot we can do, but we can rewrite this equation as the square root of b divided by the square root of 9, or over the square root of 9. And if we were to do that, we can see that we can take the square root of 9. So top stays the same, square root of b, but our bottom equation, well, the square root of 9 is 3. So we could write this problem as the square root of b divided by 3, which I think is probably easier to handle and easier to plug a variable into. We could just pick any random variable now and find the answer. So if b equals 49, we could put 49 in right here. The square root of 49 is 7, and so we would get the answer 7/3. Otherwise, we would have some weird situation where we had a strange fraction, like 49 divided by 9. And if you did 49 divided by 9 and then try to take the square root of it, it would be a whole mess. So sometimes it's just easier to see it in the simplified form. Let me see if there's another one. Oh, one more that I want to do is, let's do the square root. Oh, maybe this is going to come up in a later lesson, in which case disregard this. Yeah, this will come up in a later lesson, so we're going to end the lesson right there. That's the end. Have fun on your worksheet.